nothing like Mississippi on a Saturday night.
Well, it's November, and if you've ever watched Real South Hunting, you know when that time of the year comes around, we're headed to Illinois because the rut is kicked off and the big bucks are going to be on their feet.
All right, it's November. We headed up to Illinois. Me and my buddy John gonna head up early. We got in mind to kind of put it on Anthony and Brooke. We're gonna get up there and pick the best spots and try to have one kill when they get there. I'm gonna run the camera from my friend John, and we're gonna get one on film with me filming him, and then I'm gonna just turn right around and get another one. Now, we've got it all planned out. If it'll just work the way we got it planned, this is gonna be good stuff. I kind of feel like it will, but there's always the factor of hunting.
We got first morning at Bobby Carroll, Illinois. Wine. We got two Sheila out in front of us. Looking like a beautiful day. Sun's out. 34 degrees. I wouldn't think he good. You look at monsters. I got to tell you what, he just saying something real. You like him, I like him.
Plenty of deer, just not the right ones. We hunt for, I think I hunt with John a couple of days, run the camera for him. We ain't seeing the deer, so we decided to go ahead and split up.
So Stubbs and John, they got the jump on us, got up here early, and I know what they were doing. They were trying to pick out the best stands and leave the rest for me and Anthony, but anyway, we get there to the cabin, get settled in, and go see Bobby Carroll and figure out where we're gonna be hunting.
Set up everything in this stand. Not yesterday evening. Didn't see anything. But I got a heavy trail that goes right behind me. I already had a young 10-point come through this morning.
So as he's getting close, I can tell it's not a shooter buck, but it's a good young 12-point, and a couple years down the road, it's gonna be a really fine deer.
Excited to be up here in Illinois. This is my first hunt with a bow. So I'm excited. We go hunt this property here today or this morning, and then at noon we're gonna head over to the other property where we're gonna probably be staying and hunting.
So I've been sitting there a couple hours, and it's getting on up into the morning, and nothing else has come by my stand. So I pick up the rattling horns and knock them together a couple of times, and it's probably 10 minutes later, I hear a deer walking down the trail towards me. He stops and he starts rubbing on a tree right there on the trail and breaks the limbs off and starts making scrapes, and he is fired up. As he comes into sight, comes walking right under the tree on the same trail that the first buck did, and it's another young deer, and I pass him. And you know, when you go to Illinois, you're looking for something that you're gonna put on the wall, and this deer just didn't quite meet what I was after.
We're at Mr. Bobby Carroll's here in Illinois, and been real excited. Illinois bow hunting is probably the best in the country, and we look forward every year coming to Illinois and getting some bow hunting in, and real excited about this trip. A little nervous. Supposed to be really cold. Possibly some blizzard-like conditions, so. A little nervous about that, but we got our Sitka gear on. I think every piece of Sitka gear that we own, we brought for this trip, and we're prepared for it. So as soon as we get there, of course, you know, as always, I fired up, adrenaline's going, I'm ready to go get in the stand, and we get unpacked, and you know, probably 2 o'clock in the afternoon, get everything unpacked and get all our gear ready to head to the stand. And sitting there first afternoon, winds blowing 30, 40 miles an hour, as always in the Midwest, and deer started popping out. I actually saw a bunch of does, a decent little 10-point. They were definitely moving, looking good for this trip. Starting out, first afternoon, saw a lot of deer.
The first afternoon went by pretty slow. We didn't see a lot of deer movement, but we were anticipating the next morning, and it didn't disappoint. The weather deteriorated greatly as the week went on. The weatherman said that it was the coldest in November at that time in 70 years. Me and my friend John, we never did make it happen, and we decided to split up. I got Doreen out. That's my secret weapon. That's what makes me have the edge. Me and Doreen can work like a team. Doreen ain't fooling nobody. They get about 30, 40 yards and Doreen go the other way. So there's something a little bit wrong with these deer, because Doreen's looking good. I mean, you'll see several shots of her. She got cold a couple times, but other than that, Doreen, you put some of that My Sheila from Vapor Trail scents on Doreen, and it's almost unfair.
It's our last day here in Illinois. Doing some rattling and grunting, trying to make something happen here. They seen 2 shooter bugs in this corner yesterday morning, so I'm hoping they'll show back up on a midday. I'm here for an all-day sit, just hoping to get it done. I'm watching a corner down there about 50 yards out of a corner. I've just rattled and grunted. No response yet. They haven't been real responsive to my rattling for some reason. It just looks like they're running behind or something. But I feel confident we're gonna get it done today. I'm at a ground pad, down kind of under a hill. 30 degrees, trying to snow. It's a pretty rough day out here.
So I started self-filming, and John went to hunt. Weather got terrible. It just went downhill.
But I'm hoping it won't big bugs are gonna be up running around. And I get it done. Big A's done had a deer come out on him, a possible shooter. Brooks done had one out on him. I hadn't seen nothing yet. I didn't see a deer yesterday evening. But I'm fully confident they're gonna want to come out of that corner, man. And when he does, the Matthews are gonna put the smack down on him.
The hospitality didn't go down at all. The eating, it didn't get nothing but better every night. So did we have a good time? As usual, we did. We give God the praise for a safe trip. And I'll just about bet you that 8-point and 12-point and a couple more of them come easing back through this year, I'm liable to be sitting there waiting on them.
So the last day rolls around and going to get no ground blind. It snowed and it's been cold the last few days, and sitting there, it's starting to get daylight, see some deer way off, actually see a doe running, buck chasing her. And about that time, over the hill pops this really, really unique deer. I think he was maybe a 6-point, 7-point, but real heavy, an old mature deer, tall, but he just had no spread. It was like maybe a 5 or 6 inch spread. It was a real unique deer. But anyway, he ran this doe in the woods there behind the blind, and I could hear him down in there. He was grunting and chasing, and by the time they popped out in the food plot, running, I couldn't get a shot. Ran around probably another 10 or 15 minutes, and went in. Looked like they had bedded down. I'm like, you know, we ought to just sit here all day and hopefully get a shot at this cool deer.
Well, we're down to our last full day of hunting, and it is a cold one. Snow coming in.
It's already snowed a little while this morning, and saw a good buck early. I said good buck. He's an old buck, really cold deer, 6 point. He wasn't very wide. He was real heavy. Had tall brown tines, and his G2s and all kind of come up almost touched the way they come in. It was a cold deer, but it's been a rough trip. We've seen a lot of deer, not many shooters, just a few here and there. Lots of things have gone wrong on this trip, but that's just part of it, going out of state. Big weather change, truck batteries dying, and to buy 2 new batteries. I mean, it's good stuff though. I love the Midwest. I love hunting up here in Illinois. Just the deer you see and riding around coming in from hunting, you'll see big bucks. And you don't get to see all that back home. And that kind of wraps up the trip here in Illinois. Saw a lot of deer, a lot of young deer. Had a great time, and want to thank Mr. Bobby Carroll and his wife. That was some fine eating every night. That bread pudding was unbelievable, but it was a great trip.
So after the morning hunt, we got to talking to Bobby Carroll, and me and Anthony decided we're gonna go try another property, and he takes us over there and we check it out and pick which stand we're gonna go to. And I ended up hunting this stand that's down in a creek bottom, and a beautiful, beautiful scene that I've got to look at for the next couple days. So over the next, I guess, 3 days, I have many run-ins with this young 8-point, and I'm thinking, you know, if this was Stubbs sitting in this tree, that deer would be in trouble, and he's having a lot of luck knowing that he's not in the stand.
I think it was the same 8 from yesterday. He's probably close to 120. I'll let him go. Hoping something bigger will come through. I know what kind of bugs are in Illinois. If I can hold out a couple more days, maybe one of those big mature bugs will walk through here. Fine spot on this creek bottom. Got snow coming in this evening.
And then a couple days later, I'm hanging off the side of this tree, and all of a sudden, I hear what sounds like a thunderstorm coming, but it's snow. And it just come in there sideways, covered my camera, covered me, and I've never hunted anything like this before.
As you can see, on this hunt, we had a lot of good hunts. We've seen a lot of deer. We didn't see the deer we wanted to see. Normally this time of year, in this time frame, it's when the big boys are on their feet. But regardless of that, we had a really good time. We had a really good hunt. Thanks, Miss Becky, for all the fine food. Bobby Carroll for putting up with us for a flipping week. So appreciate y'all watching. Catch you next week right back here on Real South.
We're doing stuff. I'm gonna get some footage of this food.
Oh, God.
Let's get some footage of that. Yeah.
Remember my first buck seemed like a tough chore. Cause a fair chase hunt you never promised to score. But when that Boone and Crockett walks out, we lay him on down. I can still see the arrow flying through the